What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Celtic have won the League Cup eventually on penalty kicks after Martin, an absolutely pulsating game. So much to unpack to go through that, but we'll start with the main thing, the positive. We came out winners. We had to show a lot of grit and steel and fight today. We can talk about the quality or lack thereof at different parts of the game in a minute, but yet again, this team, this manager, this captain have found a way to win it.
And I've read some of the comments from the players, Cal McGregor in particular, where he talks about the importance, exactly what you've just said, the importance of these games are, you must win. Regardless of how you win these games, you must win them, and he said you find a way. He talked about in that game, we didn't really turn up until the early stages of the second half. You know, we were huffed and puffed in the first half, but couldn't get any sort of fluency or momentum. Not that we were ever out of the game or that we played badly, but we didn't manage to dominate in the way we would have liked to dominate in that first half. And Rangers, to be fair, were pressing us and managing to get the ball back fairly quickly, and we weren't managing to pass around them as often as we would have liked. So Callum spoke after the game and said, look, you find a way, and that's what that team did. They found a way, and albeit it's a wee bit of lottery when it comes to penalties, but you still need to be good at penalties, you still need to score them, you still need to save them. And I was incredibly proud of the team today, the captain in particular, but as a collective unit, you know, we didn't give up, and there was times in that game where it was really, really tough, and they just kept fighting and showed a real togetherness.
Yeah, absolutely. First half, though, I thought we were really poor, I think, across the pitch. Rangers maybe took a bit of the blueprint from Zagreb, even from maybe Bruges as well, where they're sitting on a halfway line, just letting the centre halves have the ball, restricting the space for us to play through them. But I thought for us, from our point of view on the ball, we were so sloppy, everything was untidy. There was a few poor individual performances, and it looked like they were just waiting to pounce on a mistake, and obviously Taylor's short square pass gives them that just before half time. And then actually we needed half time because they were a stronger team going into it. They had another wave of attacks just before half time, and we really struggled to find a way through them in that first half.
I totally agree. I mean, they were trying a wee bit of hitting us on the break, the high ball. I mean, they had a range of tactics that they tried, and it worked. And as you say, give you a wee bit of possession. But once we tried to break through them, they would try and counter, and they countered quite well. And as you say, they had 2 or 3 chances, and at half time you couldn't really argue with being behind. And it was then a case of, right, what have you got, Celtic, and how quickly can you respond in the second half? I felt the nervousness in the Celtic fans, and there's a little bit of, you know, because we've dominated for so long, and there's an expectation that, you know, we'll be ahead in these games and we're behind. We thought, right, but the Celtic fans at 50 minutes were starting to become incredibly nervous, and people around about me were getting animated, and I'm thinking, we've got 40 minutes left here, just
10 minutes
relax.
later, 2-1.
What I do remember really vividly in the game was 2 or 3 people around about me were all saying it's coming, the goal's coming, because we had a couple of chances. Kyogo had the Butland had a good save from Kyogo, and it just felt like we all of a sudden we were in the ascendancy. And that was a period in the game that we'd been craving for the whole match up until that point, and it came, and the attacks started to come in waves, and I had a real good feeling that the goal was imminent, and of course we then got the goal 50 something minute, didn't we?
Bit of luck.
A wee bit of luck, a big deflection, wasn't it? And I think the goal's been categorised as an own goal. So, but I just felt like that goal was coming. I don't know where the shot would end up had it not deflected. Maybe nowhere near the goal, but we got that wee bit of luck, and then obviously scored quite quickly again after that.
That really swung the momentum, didn't it? I've talked about the Rangers after their goal, a couple of minutes before half time. Tails are up, but it was the total flip side when we get the goal through Taylor. And then Daizen Maeda, I mean, he's terrorised Rangers, and a lot of people talking in the build-up about how well he's done against Tavernier. But again today, that second goal, I think he does so well. He just pounces on it, and I think he blocks. I think it's Balogun, is it? And he blocks the pass. It goes up in the air, and he's running through and goal. And you think he's going to have to do well to control this, but he gets it down, finishes it past Butland. And that was probably the biggest celebration of the day, that goal for 2-1. I think we were all tired by the end, but the scenes were incredible, and he done so well. Not a player you associate at times with the most composure and the most technical ability, but my God, he showed it there.
I wouldn't say that nowadays. When I was younger, I used to go really crazy when we scored, but nowadays it's a far more reserved. We're just getting old, but I went crazy when he scored that second goal. I was cuddling loads of people I didn't know, and other things that you do as a Celtic fan, and the celebrations went on for absolute ages. A special moment with my wee boy, for example, and he's at that age where he's too cool to cuddle his dad, but there was a real embrace, and I really treasured it, and I'll be thinking about that when I go to my bed tonight. That goal was special, and I remember I had a really good view of that goal, and I thought he's going to need somebody to come alongside him for him to square the ball, but he goes back and wins it, doesn't he? And then he's controlled it, I think, with his right foot, and he's finished it with his left foot, and the finish was just sublime. I mean, that could be goal of the season already, right? It could be. I need to think long and hard about other goals that were better than that, because his desire to win the tackle, win the ball, managed to change direction and face the goal. He's got two players right on top of him, and then the fact he's used both feet to one, control it, and obviously shield the players away from him to prevent the tackle, and then the finish was excellent. I can't wait to watch it. I'm sure I'll watch it another 100 times.
Aye.
I might even celebrate again in the house tonight.
You were just looking for us to really capitalise at that period in the game. I've talked about the momentum swing. It was right with us at that time. But again, we just kind of dropped back maybe a wee bit too deep and let Rangers back into it. I've not got a great view of the second goal. I've not seen it back for them. I think Diomande turns somebody in the box, and it manages to squirm past Schmeichel. And then I thought we needed changes in the game. I thought Hatate might have come off and he'd kept Bernardo on. I thought Bernardo again today performed really well. Engels comes on. He's involved in the third goal, which I think is a brilliant goal from our point of view. We work it down the right hand side. Kuhn gives it into Engels, who's made the underlapping run, and you think first time Engels is just going to smash it across the goal, but he's got the awareness to know that Kuhn is free, and he just puts it back into a brilliant area, and Kuhn finishes it, and you think 3 minutes to play, we've scored the winner, but we lost concentration again just a couple of minutes later, and I could see Brendan Rodgers on the sideline. He was tearing his hair out with that late equaliser for Rangers.
When we stand here after the games and try and get all these precise details correct, right, and you've watched it in the game, you know what it's like. It's different watching the telly as it is at the game, right? So we'll get something that's wrong, and please forgive us viewers for getting some of these details wrong. You'll correct us, you always do, and rightly so. But I think it was Engels that got turned for the goal.
Was it?
I think he was on already.
Yeah.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, right? And I remember watching it at the time thinking, oh my goodness, that was a lazy challenge. And how did they manage to turn?
Stronger.
Yeah, and then of course the ball comes in, and again it just felt like it's too simple. And that's a goal out of all of them. I think we could have avoided that comfortably. Avoided that had we just been a bit stronger in the challenge.
I think just on the third one as well, let the cross come in. We've let the cross come in. Czerny's a danger for them. We'll let him come onto his left foot, have all the time in the world to pick out a cross.
Yeah, and I wondered with the third one whether we could have been stronger when the header came in, but it was precise, wasn't it? It was right on his head.
Difficult to defend.
There was a player either side quite close to him as well, so it wasn't as if we'd given him a lot of space. It was just one of those that you couldn't really do anything about, but as you say, you prevent the cross coming in the first place. And talking before the game about we've been better this year with regards to not conceding from corners, not conceding from set plays domestically. Maybe not quite so good still in Europe. We still struggle in Europe, but today obviously a couple of crosses into the box, and we struggled to defend them. And the third goal was a good example of that. It was really frustrating. And there's always that period after you score or you concede where the next 2 minutes are the most important part. It's the most dangerous part for either scoring a second goal or conceding, and that's what happened to us today. We weren't switched on enough.
No, absolutely. An extra time, it's always a strange period. Extra time, the players are so tired. I think, as I said to you earlier, even the supporters were tired at that time in the game, having already celebrated 3 goals. I think we were the stronger team in extra time. We didn't really create too many glaring, clear-cut chances, but it goes to the lottery of the penalty kicks, taking up the Rangers' end. And you just need your goalkeeper to be the hero, and Kasper Schmeichel makes one good save for Yilmaz's penalty. I thought the Celtic penalties were really, really good. Again, a couple of players you're looking at, Hatate going up thinking, is he tired? He's missed penalties in open play for us before. Maeda, you don't associate him with being a brilliant penalty taker, but he puts away the winning penalty, and we come out winners.
Well, there's two things when it comes to penalties. You want to take them into your own fans, and that went against us. And then probably, although some people would beg to differ, but I think you want to take the first rather than the second, and we were taking the second. Forget it, that's terrible. But so both of those went against us. I looked at both keepers and thought, both tidy keepers, both good shot stoppers. I could imagine Butland being the hero, but I could equally imagine Kasper Schmeichel and how good he's been for us. I had a feeling that he was going to save at least one. Now, he saved it, and it wasn't a great penalty, but he still has to save it. But you have to give great credit to the 5 guys under immense pressure that stood up and scored for us, and they were all really, really good penalties. So Kasper alongside the 5 goal scorers, you feel sorry for the lad. That's as sorry as you can feel for him, because it's your rivals, isn't it? But it's never nice when one person misses a penalty, but somebody had to miss one for us to win, albeit sometimes 2 or 3 miss. But today there was just a single player. But credit to the Celtic players, great penalties, and you have to find some inner strength to do that. And as each one stepped up, I was quite confident they were going to score as well. I was a wee bit nervous, Cal McGregor. I thought, don't let the captain miss, and then Engels steps up, and I thought, he's up and down a wee bit just now. But when Maeda stepped up, there was not one doubt in my mind he was scoring.
Aye, amazing. We need to let you go. Obviously, we've not got time to unpack the whole game in this full-time reaction. We'll have the post-match pint for that, but really difficult to try and pinpoint a man in the match there, and it's got probably Maeda for the big moments in the game, the winning penalty, the brilliant second goal. Yeah,
I think so. And I mean, there's a special mention for a couple of players in there today.
Goalkeeper, of course.
Rodgers continues that unbeaten run, doesn't he?
Yeah.
At Hampden, Cal McGregor and his records. James Forrest, I think's equalled.
Yeah, 27 is it?
I thought
25.
25,
25, yeah, 25.
25 equalled the record. Special mention for him.
Yeah, incredible.
So some I'm sure we'll talk about later on about records broken and all that sort of stuff. But man of the match, I think, has to go to Maeda for that special goal when he scores the winning penalty. And he worked incredibly hard in the game. You know, he was. Not everything came off for him today, but there were spells in the game where things did come off, and other times where he had to be resilient. And I thought he showed great resilience throughout the game. Not a spectacular performance, but for me, just even for his goal alone, for me, he's man of the match.
Aye, absolutely. There you go. That's it. We'll see you in the pub. Cheers.